This transfer portal, I got to tell you, my goodness, this thing just kicks me in the head, slaps me in the face, gives me whiplash, whatever you want to say, because the Sion Lolohea situation, I saw that a couple days ago and I thought, okay, I got to keep that in sight for Wednesday's show. Completely off my radar then. Then I just see it right before, and you guys get me up to speed on that. Jalen Lucas, I saw that. That's only been, what, about 2 days ago? This stuff happens so fast, and I'm trying to watch every team that it now seems to me like it was a month ago, because at the time, again, Jalen Lucas. Now, see, I'm a guy that's seen Jalen Lucas play. I know, I'm guessing that most everybody watching right now that'll watch on tape or is watching live right now, not watching a whole lot of Indiana football, but this guy is to a certain extent. And so I've seen Jalen Lucas play quite a bit. Yeah, he ran for 275 yards on just 67 carries this last year with a couple touchdowns, caught 34 balls out of the backfield. He's already returned 3 kickoffs in his short career for touchdowns. Yes, he's an electric guy, and he's going to enjoy having better quarterback play and going to enjoy guys blocking for him. So he doesn't have to be dancing around all the time, that he can hit a seam and go. So he's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to kill let me kill a rumor real quick. Marvin Jones Jr. is not going anywhere. He is enrolled at Florida State. He's taking classes at Florida State. He has already moved into his home with Earl Little Jr. in Tallahassee. So y'all can end the whole MJJ going back to Georgia. Miami fans took that and blew it out of complete proportion. It is what it is. He deleted some stuff on Instagram, and people freaked out. Like, here y'all go again. You're stalking a bunch of young boys, and you freak out because of something they post or delete. He's not going anywhere. He's enrolled at Florida State. He's already been in class, etc. He's not going nowhere. He took a picture because everybody freaked out over it, put it in a story where he's in the locker room at Florida State. He even puts his leg out there to prove it's him with his tattoo on his leg. That was all.
Yeah, man, it never seems to fail. Look, it's one thing to, kind of follow tea leaves and stuff, but you got to have common sense too, and not just freak out because you see somebody delete a few things off their Instagram. Like, undoubtedly, like, he's going to update that thing. You never know. An NIL person might want him to put something up there. He might want to, he got a cool new graphic made by K Camp, whatever. But you have to delete what was there before to put something new. These kids, they're building brands. They're always updating. So, yeah, just take a chill pill, No Nation. Just exhale. We're going to be all right. These are the fun times. Just soak it up and enjoy it, and keep it rolling.
Our Wilmer, yes, I would be up to the challenge of checking in on Paul Feinbaum. I'm sure he's taking a bit of a shock today. One of his faves, Nick Saban, is hanging him up. So,
what will he do? What is Paul Feinbaum going to do without Nick Saban?
I actually enjoyed the time. I don't think I've ever said this on the air, that somebody mentioned my name on the Paul Feinbaum show. This was maybe a year or two ago that somebody called him up and said, Paul, he said, I'm sure you know who Mark Rogers, the voice of college football, is. He said that and then he mentioned something, and Paul Feinbaum just said something real fast and shut him off. So that was kind of amusing. Somebody sent me that clip.
Did y'all's times cross? Were you colleagues at ESPN?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Although he was in Charlotte, so
right,
we weren't anywhere close to being in the same building. Well, we were in the same building. He would come up to Connecticut at times, but I've never talked to the man in my life. And we will have that conversation, debate, discussion sometime here in the next few months. We'll size up Bobby Bowden, Nick Saban, anybody else we want to throw into the mix. But at this being an FSU channel and Nick Saban having just retired, that's the two that we'll have to set up, and we'll go to work on that debate. A lot of people don't think it's a debate, but it's a debate. Absolutely, it is.
Oh yeah, it's a totally different era. I mean, who knows what would have happened if you had 14 years in the playoff or in a row? You know what I mean? So
Yes. Yeah,
totally different era. So it'd definitely be fun to talk about.
absolutely. So with the transfer portal closed, but there's still guys in there that have yet to determine where do we think the needs are, where do we think the targets lie that are reachable.
I think Florida State needs to add a couple of offensive tackles, for sure, just because for depth reasons. But I would prefer to go get guys that could potentially take the starting position and make them work that out amongst each other as far as who plays it out. I think you need two of them at bare minimum. I think that you're going to have to wait. You might pull in a couple of bodies, but I don't know if they stick around after spring for the linebacker position. But you're going to take one more defensive in for sure, and that one's soon to come. But tangible, possible, all that great stuff, probability, yeah. I really believe that we're going to fulfill all the needs that are necessary, but we might also take a running back. I don't know that we necessarily need one, but some guys you just don't say no to.
Yeah, I agree. I think you know, I think you get one more for sure this period. But as you look forward to the second periods and hopefully even maybe one in this one, I think you got to get a couple linebackers. I think everybody agrees, or most people agree, at least one. I don't know if you want to get into the news on that. We got another subject to get into. We might as well get into it. DJ Lundy came back. He announced he was coming back. Um, uh, Colorado didn't work out, whatever the case may be, with the NIL, the promises that were made. He decided that offer at Florida State, or whether they renegotiated and found something that worked out. He is back in Tallahassee. So that was big. So that's just like getting a commitment from a linebacker. So as I said, you needed to add a couple. Now it's down to, add one. They could still add more than one, but get, like Chris was saying, another offensive tackle. Maybe a TJ Ferguson is still on the board from Alabama. I forget the guy's name. There's a Syracuse, or there's another offensive tackle that I know they're in contact with, but definitely maybe a linebacker and offensive tackle. And it wouldn't be surprised me if they got, like Chris said, just an absolute stud who came available that might surprise some folks in the second portion.
Chris, you're typically a good go-to guy for a question like this. How has this coaching staff handled the transfer portal in regards to their recruiting assignments? Have they just, do you know that they've just kind of taken it as it comes, or have they designated certain guys to take on more of the transfer portal? Do you have any idea how they've, this is a huge addition of workload for these coaching staffs to take this on?
Well, who I would say has done the best as far as taking the load on from the transfer portal is going to be Derek Ray. That's technically your general manager of the team. He led on multiple of these guys to get them on campus, led on multiple of them landing at Florida State. If I had to pick a coach that's done the worst job, which I think that at some point a fire is going to be lit under his rear, that's Randy Shannon at the linebacker coach position. He didn't do too well in the recruiting portion of linebackers for this past season, or any season really. And now in the transfer portal, other than getting Tatum Bethune a couple of years back, a couple of years back, he's really just kind of stalemate. I know he can develop talent, but what's wrong with getting good talent to develop to better instead of getting project guys? So, I mean, the majority of our coaching staff has done phenomenal. I like the offensive, like the guys that everybody knows about, I'm okay with. What I mean by that is everybody that's reported this guy's here, this guy's here, this guy's here. People don't realize, and I know it sounds like people be like, yeah, sure, all that media. No, I'm telling you, there is a multitude of guys that are on campus that nobody is talking about. There is a huge amount. Zion Young was supposed to be one of those guys, but someone slipped up and mentioned his name, and a guy from On 3 ran with it. He got a lot of backlash for running with it, but there are a lot of guys that actually made it to campus and are still on campus that no one knows is there as far as public goes. So we're keeping all of that as quiet as possible because we plan on one or two of those guys popping. So Randy's the only guy that I can point a finger at and say he needs to do better. The rest of them, I think, have done probably better than expected.
George, does the name Wes Hoeh, Hoeh, is that your Syracuse offensive tackle?
Say that again.
Wes Hoeh. That's the only transfer portal Syracuse offensive lineman I can find.
No, I think that was the wrong school. Like I was saying earlier, I could look it up and figure out what that one was, but I don't think that one was it. Did you know who I'm talking about? Was it who something? Anyways, sorry about that. But no, when it comes to Randy Shannon and being critical and stuff, like if you know Chris, if you've been following Spear Addicts and stuff, that's like that takes something. So it's not like he's not somebody that's super negative and always complaining about the coaches and stuff. So if he volunteers criticism, that's legitimate criticism. And Randy Shannon is kind of the one person that I've been pretty critical of. I've been critical of others in the past and been proven wrong. But at the end of the day, I think, you see with Saban retiring and some of the things going on throughout college football, they just decided keeping the whole staff together was the move. But definitely either a fire is going to get lit or, moving forward, there will be a change eventually.